your own homemade baby food has its advantages. For one thing, you really get to expose your baby to fresh flavors and fresh foods, as well as you actually have the control of the ingredients that you use and the textures that you get out of it. Plus, making homemade baby food can actually save you some money, possibly. And the other advantage is that it is just as nutritious, if not even a little bit more nutritious, than the commercially jarred baby food, because there it has to go through the canning process where it might lose a few nutrients. You really don't have to have a lot of high-priced kitchen gadgets to make your own homemade baby food. However, there are some items that can certainly be helpful. First of all, there's a slow cooker, and a slow cooker is really nice to make meats nice and tender, as well as dried beans. And you really have to think about making sure that you do add protein in your baby's diet. So the next item, of course, is going to be a food processor or a blender. Either one of these actually really will work really nicely because it'll puree the foods, getting it to the right texture that you really will need. And it just makes things really, really simple. The next thing is a steamer, which you can have an electric steamer like this one, or you can also do a steamer basket. And this will be really nice to be able to cook your produce, your fruits and your vegetables to get it a nice soft consistency without losing a lot of those nutrients. Having a fork or a potato masher can also be really nice as well for those foods like an avocado or maybe a banana that really just require some mashing, and you don't have to use a food processor or blender to actually blend those foods. The next thing is an ice cube tray. These are really handy because once you get your foods nice and cooked or pureed, then you're ready to put them into a ice cube tray, which really kind of measures out a nice 1 ounce portion for your baby. You put this in the freezer and it freezes off nice and solid and it's ready to go. You'll also need a freezer safe bags or a freezer safe container to store the food in as well for your freezers. Make sure that you do label and date those with the name of the item and the date that you prepared it. The first step to making baby food is selecting high quality ingredients. So if you have your own home garden, that's great. You can use the produce from there. But if not, going to the grocery store is perfectly fine as well. It's really up to you on whether or not you want to use organic foods. Organic foods may have a little bit less pesticide residue, but we do know that conventional foods is just as high in nutrition as the organic foods. It's best to use the produce as quickly as possible. So right after you harvest it in your own home garden, or just 1 to 2 days after you bring it home from the store, because it will start to lose nutrients the longer that it sits. Once you have your ingredients ready, you'll want to make sure that your kitchen is very clean. So the first thing you'll want to do is wash all of your countertops. So just take a nice clean rag and wipe down the countertops as best as you can. And then after that, you'll want to sanitize with a sanitizing solution. And sanitizing will actually kill any microorganisms that could be present. And of course, wash your hands using hot soapy water and scrubbing for about 20 seconds.